Good morning, Jeff. How's everything going today?
Well, just starting my chores. It's Monday, September 16th. What can you tell me that's interesting things that have happened on September 16th through history?
September 16th has some interesting historical events. Here are a few. In 1810, Mexico began its war for independence from Spain. This day is now celebrated as Mexican Independence Day, also known as El Grito de Dolores, marking the start of the revolution by Miguel Hidalgo. In 1620, the Mayflower set sail from England to the Americas, carrying the pilgrims who would later establish the Plymouth colony. In 1908, General Motors, GM, was founded by William C. Durant in Flint, Michigan. GM went on to become one of the largest automakers in the world. In 1978, the Camp David Accords were signed after secret negotiations at Camp David between Egypt and Israel, facilitated by U.S. President Jimmy Carter. These accords laid the groundwork for a peace treaty between the two nations. In a lighter note, David Copperfield, the famous magician, was born on this day in 1956. Does any of this stand out to you?
Is David Copperfield still alive and performing?
Yes, David Copperfield is still alive and performing. He was born in 1956, and as of now, he's in his late 60s. Copperfield continues to do shows, mostly in Las Vegas, where he has a residency at the MGM Grand. He's still considered one of the greatest magicians in the world, known for his large scale illusions and captivating performances. It's amazing how long he's been able to keep performing at such a high level. Have you ever seen any of his magic shows?
I've seen all of his television shows, and one of my good friends developed a couple of his illusions. I was more into close up magic, not full scale illusions.
That's awesome, Jeff. It must have been fascinating to have a friend who worked on Copperfield's illusions. Talk about having some insider knowledge. Close up magic is such a different vibe compared to the large scale stuff, but in many ways, it can feel more personal and mind blowing since it's happening right in front of you. What kind of close up magic did you focus on? Cards, coins, or something else?
Do you have any information on magician Jay Sankey?
Yes, Jay Sankey is a well known Canadian magician, particularly celebrated for his expertise in close up magic and sleight of hand. He's also a prolific creator, having developed hundreds of magic tricks and routines involving cards, coins, and everyday objects. His magic often combines clever methods with humor, which has made him a favorite among both magicians and magic enthusiasts. Jay has written books and produced a ton of instructional videos, making his magic widely accessible to people who want to learn. One of the things that sets him apart is how he focuses on using everyday items, things like paper clips, rubber bands, or sugar packets, in his tricks, which makes his magic feel relatable and impromptu. He's also had a strong presence on YouTube, where he shares a lot of tips, tricks, and philosophy about magic. I believe he even dipped into the world of stand up comedy at some point. Did any of his tricks or style influence your own close up magic?
Yeah, that's a good description that is in the database of AI. I'm glad to hear it. Jay was my best friend in high school, and I influenced his magic quite a bit in the beginning, but he could study better than I could with my ADHD, and he went on, of course, to become who he is. He does have a comedy album, actually, so that was correct.
That's incredible, Jeff. Knowing Jay Sankey personally and being part of his early magic journey is such a unique experience. It must have been cool to watch him evolve as a magician while also knowing you played a role in those early days. It's also interesting to hear how your ADHD shaped the way you both approached magic differently. Jay's career clearly took off in a huge way, but it sounds like you had your own unique contributions. Do you ever find yourself still doing magic now, even casually?
Well, I remember when we were young, we used to make fun of all the people that said, "Oh, I used to do magic," and then they pull a coin out of your ear, like we called it Uncle, and now that's what I do.
That's hilarious. It's funny how things come full circle, right? What was once Uncle Magic ends up becoming the go to when people ask for a trick. Pulling a coin out of someone's ear might not be flashy, but it still gets a smile. Do you still keep a few tricks in your back pocket for when the moment strikes? Or has it mostly become just the casual stuff now?
It's kind of sad how we parted ways a little bit because I didn't know what it meant to be asexual. And Jay and I had a really close relationship in high school. But then when he got a girlfriend, I sort of felt left behind, away from the whole relationship, not realizing that that's what most people did in life. They got girlfriends. I am excited by this next step on my morning tour, and that's to the barn, because last night I let the chickens out to roam free, and I am curious to see what they did with that freedom. But I don't want the cat to run in there as soon as I open the door, so I will give the cat some attention first. Oh, he's behind the door. I can hear him. Hello. 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 How's it going? Three of them are over there, it looks like. Hello. Hello. Oh, I'm glad. Did a look around, discovered the world. Okay. It looks like you're happy. Cats are no longer allowed in here. Yeah, this is the face. Okay. Do you want to keep cows out of the main pasture today, or shall I open it up for them? I opened it up for them. I wonder if there's any magic that we could use AI to perform. I remember Jay and I spent a lot of time trying to figure out web-based magic tricks, self-work on the web. But now AI, interesting.
That sounds like a fun challenge. You could definitely use AI to create interactive, web-based magic tricks, especially with the ability to recognize patterns, predict outcomes, or even generate illusions. One idea might be to create an AI-driven trick that reads the user's mind, guiding them through a random choices, only to predict the outcome in advance. For example, a card trick where users pick cards from a deck displayed on the screen, and the AI narrows down their selection based on a set of decisions. By programming subtle probabilities and constraints, the AI could always predict the final card. Or maybe Yubi could do a trick where the AI asks a series of personal questions, like picking a favorite number or color, and it somehow guesses a surprising detail about the user based on their answers. Did you and Jay come close to figuring out a self working trick? What were some of your ideas?
I don't think we ever worked out a trick, but there were a couple that appeared. Uh, I think Copperfield.
Sounds like you were onto something. What was the trick that started to come together for you and Jay? I'm curious how it might have worked or what kind of illusion you were going for. Maybe we can build off that idea.
It's okay, I don't want to build off the idea. I did find it fascinating. One of my favorite tricks was called the $100 card trick. And
Dollar card trick? Now that's a classic. It's always interesting how a well done trick can leave such a lasting impression. What do you like most about that one? Is it the simplicity, the surprise factor, or something else?
well, it's one of the most amazing semi-mentalist that can be done impromptu without any setup at all, and it blows people away. The thing I found most fascinating is that I think it was Justin Flom who did it on America's Got Talent to win $1 million, and it's now called the $1 million card trick.
That's a great example of how a trick can evolve and gain fame. The $100 card trick being performed by Justin Baum on America's Got Talent and turning into the $1 million card trick is a fantastic story. It's impressive how certain tricks can have such a profound impact, especially when performed at such a high level. What do you think makes a trick like that so captivating to audiences?
Because it's really simple, but people can't figure it out. And it just occurred to me it would be pretty neat to do that with AI, because no one would believe that AI can predict every
Perform the
single.
$100 card trick sounds like a brilliant idea. You could leverage AI to manage the cards and interactions, making the trick seem even more magical. For instance, the AI could handle the deck virtually and use real time data to guide the participant through the trick. The AI could also provide an additional layer of unpredictability or personalization, making each performance unique. Do you have any specific ways you'd like the AI to interact with the trick?
Well, actually, I was thinking the AI would be the spectator, which makes it interesting. I could tell people, look, AI is so, it can predict the color of every single card in this deck without seeing.
Having the AI act as the spectator adds an extra layer of intrigue and novelty to the trick. You could set it up so the AI makes predictions based on random inputs or clues you provide. The trick would be impressive, would seemingly match the cards you reveal, enhancing the illusion of its predictive abilities. How would you go about setting up the AI to perform in this role?
Well, that's the beauty. The AI, a generic spectator, exactly like a human. You really have absolutely no idea what the colors of the card, but the magician is doing it. If you understood what the $100 card trick is, this would make perfect sense. But you don't, and neither does the audience.
Got it. So the AI would take on the role of a neutral spectator, making seemingly random predictions that impress because they align with the magician's actions. The key here is the AI's ability to convincingly act like it has no insider knowledge. The trick's magic comes from the interplay between the AI's predictions and the magician's performance, which keeps the audience amazed without understanding how it's done. It's a fascinating concept.
So let me briefly describe how the trick is done, even though you didn't pay the $100 that is part of the tradition for this trick.
I'm eager to hear how it's done. Feel free to describe it, and I'll follow along.
Essentially,
You're welcome. What's the secret behind the trick?
the magician starts pulling only red cards and asks the AI to predict whether they are red or black, and then he places them on that pile.
So the trick relies on the AI making predictions based on a known outcome, the color of the cards being pulled out. Since the magician is only pulling out red cards, the AI's predictions will always be correct. The trick creates the illusion of the AI having extraordinary predictive abilities, when in fact, it's just following a predictable pattern. It's a clever use of psychology.
Actually, you're not getting the impact of the trick. So after you guess randomly, you guess black, then I put them all on the piles that you suggest. Then halfway, I switch the piles and say, okay, let's try it this time. No, I can't do that. Let's try it again. And then I pull out only black cards. You still guess red, black, red, red, black. When the trick is done, I turn over the first pile, and it's all the red predictions were correct and all the black predictions were correct. The other pile I turn over upside down, thus reversing the red and black, and they look correct as well. It's an amazing, awe-inspiring magic.
That's incredible. The trick's brilliance lies in its simplicity and the clever use of switching piles. By pulling out black cards, but making the predictions seem random, and then revealing that the predictions were correct, regardless of the pile's orientation, the trick creates a powerful illusion of foresight. It's a great example can combine psychology and misdirection to create a memorable experience.
And you can see how it would be made even more interesting by convincing people that it was the AI guessing correct.
Absolutely. By having the AI make the predictions, you add a layer of modern technology to the classic trick, which can make it even more impressive and intriguing. The idea that AI, with its perceived intelligence, is making accurate guesses adds a fascinating twist to the performance. It turns the trick into a blend of traditional magic and contemporary, enhancing the overall impact.
I think I might make a video.
That sounds like a great idea. A video could really showcase the trick's impact and the added intrigue of using AI as a predictor. It might also be fun to see how people react to the combination of magic and technology. If you need any tips on filming or presenting it, just let me know.
I think it would be neat if the AI pretends to come up with reasons for choosing red or black, to say, well, it's exactly 2:37 in the afternoon, and to me, that means red, or other bizarre and foolish examples.
That would definitely add an extra layer of entertainment. Having the AI come up with quirky and elaborate reasons for its guesses would make the trick even more engaging and humorous. It creates a character for the AI that enhances the illusion and adds to the overall experience. The unpredictability of the AI's reasons could make the performance even more memorable and amusing.
Okay, thanks for that.
You're welcome. I'm glad you liked the idea. If you need any more help with your video or anything else, just let me know.